When the waters rose, no one came to help. She dialed 911 22 times. By the time rescue arrived, her son was gone. They told her it was just another storm. But this wasn't a storm. This was a system that failed, and it drowned an entire community in silence. Texas, known for its big skies, oil fields, and southern pride. But in 2024, it was known for something else. A flood so devastating it turned roads into rivers, homes into tombs, and neighborhoods into forgotten war zones. Over 14 counties were declared disaster zones. Billions of dollars in damage. Dozens dead. Hundreds missing. But the real story? That's not what the news told you. Because while headlines blamed record rainfall, the truth was buried beneath the mud. What happened in Texas wasn't just a natural disaster. It was a man-made tragedy, a preventable nightmare. So how did an entire city cry for help, and no one listened? Let's rewind to the beginning. April 17th, 2024, the National Weather Service issued a Level 4 flood warning. Rainfall predictions were off the charts. City officials in southeast Texas were alerted, but instead of mass evacuations, there was silence. Why? Residents in neighborhoods like Pinehurst, Acres Homes, and East Aldine, predominantly Black and Latino, low-income areas, say they never got the alerts. No door-to-door warnings. No sirens. No buses. Rosa Martinez, a single mother of two, said she only realized something was wrong when water seeped into her bedroom window. I called the city hotline. They told me to stay put, that emergency crews were on standby. She lived 5 blocks from a drainage canal that hadn't been serviced in 8 years. The city knew it was a risk, but funding had been redirected toward flood protection in wealthier suburbs 15 miles away. Here's where things get darker. In 2022, an internal audit from a Harris County Flood Control District flagged several at-risk areas that lacked critical flood mitigation. Pinehurst topped that list. But according to leaked documents, those mitigation projects were shelved after pressure from local developers. Why? Because building new homes on flood-prone land was more profitable than fixing drainage for people who already live there. City leaders ignored warnings. They gambled with lives. And they lost. Emails obtained by journalists showed one city planner referring to the East Side neighborhoods as low-asset zones. In other words, not worth protecting. The night of the flood, April 20th, everything went wrong. Cell towers failed. Emergency services were overwhelmed. Entire streets disappeared under 6 feet of water in under 45 minutes. The 911 call logs from that night are chilling. A father stranded in his attic with a baby and no power. A 12-year-old girl screaming that her grandmother was underwater. A diabetic woman with no insulin, waiting for help for 18 hours. Over 80% of rescue resources were dispatched to neighborhoods with higher property values. Drone footage later showed rescue boats skipping over submerged homes in Black and Latino communities. And Rosa? Her son drowned trying to climb onto the roof. He was 9. When she was finally rescued 19 hours later, they gave her a blanket and a form to file damages. No apology, no accountability. In the weeks that followed, Texas officials praised their swift emergency response. The governor blamed the rain. FEMA called it an act of God. But for families like Rosa's, that explanation is hollow. Civil rights groups filed lawsuits, citing racial disparity in rescue response negligence and willful denial of warnings. One leaked deposition revealed that several flood maps had been intentionally adjusted to downplay risks in poor communities. And yet, no resignations, no arrests, no justice. Even today, thousands of residents are displaced. Insurance claims are denied. FEMA assistance dried up. And as always, the media moved on. But we won't, because Rosa's son had a name. His story matters. And if we forget it, the floodwaters will rise again. And this time, it might be your street they skip. If this story moved you, don't let it disappear like the neighborhoods it washed away. Share this video. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe to this channel, because these stories deserve more than silence. And to the leaders who ignored the warnings, who gamble with lives, we see you, and we will keep telling these stories until justice is more than a word. Justice for Texas flood victims. Never forget,